Man, I am rusty. I didn't record a video for 2 weeks, so sorry about that, but I am back and I want to talk about this new degen code, this new degen movement, which is called the MEX to 1. But before we go into that, I just wanted to do something because that is very important. So let's do that first. Now, MEX to 1 is an interesting thought. And we will approach this topic from two sides, okay? From two directions. One is the optimistic one, is the degen move, which very often is the true one or the one which will happen. And we will approach it from a bit of a technical view. We will check the charts as well. And then we will discuss about what is happening today, because today is a big day. So let's start with the degen move. When I say degen and I think about somebody from the EGLD community, I think about Steven. Because Steven is the one who is starting these things, and Steven is the one who brings us some optimism sometimes, to be honest. Because yes, he is also following lots of NFTs, he has NFTs, and yeah, he just makes us all a bit more degen, which is good. And I want to go back to comparing EGLD to Solana at this moment, because on Solana, for example, they have lots of projects, lots of NFTs, and because of those NFTs, and half of them are degen NFTs, half of them are trash and shitcoins and shit NFTs, they have a big amount of volume, a volume which we would also need. But apparently you cannot raise or you cannot generate that volume which we want, which we are hoping for, without being a bit of a degen. And this is why I like this movement. This is why I like this initiative, because we are too serious. And let's just be honest. Most of the community is from Eastern Europe, from Romania, right? And since I'm also from there, I know that degen for us is not as easy as degens from some other parts of the world. I am not saying this in a negative way for either of the parties, but because of the cultural differences, being a degen is sometimes very hard for the EGLD community, and I am saying it from experience. And we need to change that, because we need to be a bit more loose, we need to be a bit more open to shitcoins, to shit NFTs, and it doesn't mean that we need to buy in every rug pull, in every shit project which appears, but a bit of humor, I think, is something which we need in the EGLD community, and a bit of humor which we need in this bear market after this big bleeding of the EGLD coin itself, not mentioning the MEX token. Speaking of which, let's check the realistic way how much MEX needs to go up in order to reach the $1, and whether it is something which we expect in the upcoming decade or not. I don't want to say next bull run, because that is very risky. So let's see what is happening here in the MEX village, because we need to check the chart, we need to check the market cap, we need to check the tokens, we need to check whole lot of things. But first, let's start with the charts, because people are posting bullish engulfment candles on the MEX chart. Now, obviously, since I'm watching the daily chart, the chart doesn't look as good as it is on Twitter for some people, the degens. However, if we go back to the smaller time frames, for example, the 4-hour or 1 hour, we do see some kind of a movements, some kind of structures which could somehow tell us that it might bottom out. Now, another thing which I want to mention, that I'm looking at the MEX USD, and that is why everything is going down, because MEX USD is, I think, the truer self. If we are talking about MEX to $1, then we should check the MEX USD chart, not the MEX EGLD chart, because if we go to the MEX EGLD chart, that gives us some hope. Now, I want to make something clear. When you are checking the MEX EGLD chart and the MEX jumps up, however, on the MEX USD chart it doesn't, that would mean that it jumped up because the EGLD just dropped a bit against the USD. So yeah, make sure that you understand these kind of things. However, obviously, it is very nice to see that the MEX against EGLD is performing well. And yes, on the 4-hour, we have a double bottom here, and we could expect some kind of a rally. And yes, Steven was right here. We do have an engulfing candle, this big one, I mean this one, and that could mean that we will see some upward momentum. And I do hope that this momentum will come from people buying MEX and not selling EGLD against MEX. So that's kind of important, to be honest. But let's go forward and see what we need in order for MEX to reach $1. So how many X those are? And I need to switch back to, let's switch to 1 month, okay? And of course I need to switch back to MEX USD, because we are talking about MEX to $1, right? So we are here and we can see that we have the 0.0018. That was the all-time high, and we need to go to 1. Sorry, we need to go to 1. So we need to scroll some here.
The next morning.
You know what? It's just easier if we count the zeros. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And the comma, that means that it's 100,000x. So we need 100,000x to go from here to 1, or maybe 1 million. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 million x, yes. So yeah, we have some work to do here, and let's just see what the market cap should be if we were to go to 1, because that's what we want to achieve, right? So let's see. Right now the market cap is $19,600,000, and that multiplied by 1 million is 19 trillion. 19 trillion. 19, so it's 19 times more than the Bitcoin's market cap. Okay, that will be the max. So look at this. Look at this right now, because the MEX token's market cap will be 19 times bigger than the Bitcoin's market cap today. So yes, we will go to 1. We just need to tackle a couple of bumpy roads ahead, and we are good. We will just need 18 trillion and some other money flowing into MEX, and we are to go. So yeah, it is possible. This is the verdict. I say that we can do it. I don't think that we will do it in the next bull market, but probably in a couple of decades, when dollar will go to nearly zero, when it does a minus 99% again, as it did in the last 100 years, MEX will go to 1. I am absolutely sure about that. So let's see what is happening today. Today is the 25th of May, and it is the xMoney rollout. So together with TwistPay and MultiversX team, UTrust is set to reach new heights by developing a secure and user-friendly layer. So if somebody doesn't know, today is the day, 25th of May, that UTrust will roll out xMoney, and after that they will start to roll out the cards as well for exporters. So I am very curious to see how UTrust will react to these news, because as you can see, we are back at the 0.12 almost. So yeah, I'm curious to see, because I bought somewhere here 0.13. So yeah, I'm a bit underwater right now, but I do think that with the xMoney and with everything in order, obviously, because we have some macro news as well, which we are going to cover tomorrow, because that will be the appropriate day, the most important day to cover. I think UTrust has a good basis to fly a bit and go to 1. I think that should be the minimum. UTrust to go back to 1, and then everybody's happy. I'm happy. EGLD will be up, and everybody else will be just celebrating. UTrust, xMoney, xPortal, and MEX to 1. Okay, like if you like the content, subscribe, because you don't subscribe usually, and I see you in the next video, probably tomorrow. Take care.